Hi everyone, it's Dina and this is Badass Books and Booze, and I am joined by Tiffany Fox
Hello.
and Diantha Jones, who also writes as A Star.
What up?
So, and she's also involved with Masquerade Crew, and a lot of y'all know that.
Yeah.
But I want you to tell me, what genres do you write in?
Well, I pretty much stick to fantasy and paranormal. So, despite whether I'm writing under Deanna Jones or A Star, it's fantasy and paranormal all the way. I don't have any contemporary releases. I was thinking about doing it. I had started a series and had gotten the cover made and everything, but I set it aside to continue working on some of the paranormal releases. So. What is that for?
This is just for us to keep track, just
Gotcha.
so we don't go off the rails and end up talking for an hour and a half.
About something
Because that never happens.
Because that never happens. Well, it really doesn't happen too much on Books and Booze. It has been known to happen quite a bit on Badass Pub, and then on the nights that we do Bitches After Dark. Bitches After Dark will turn into like a 3-hour, bitch fest. So okay, as Diantha Jones, what do you write?
Young adult only. I wanted there to be a distinction so that when someone picked up one of my books, they knew it's under A Stars for adults. It's under Deanna Jones. It's young adult.
Young adult. What's the age grouping on that? I mean, is it like up to 18?
Yeah, I would say at least up to 18. I mean, I'm sure older readers would enjoy it as well, enjoy those books as well, but typically it would be about up to 18.
What's the kind of subject? Okay, tell me about one of your YA books. Tell me about Diantha's first YA book.
It was Prophecy the Most Beautiful, which is the first book in the Oracle of Delphi series. It's a YA fantasy based around Greek mythology. It takes place in half on Earth and half in Olympus, or the world that I named Myth. So there's different provinces in Myth, different magical lands, and it's a crazy ride. The books are very long in the series. The third book, because I'm writing the fourth one right now, the third book is almost 200,000. So they're hefty, yeah. They're
the look of shock. The look of shock on Tiffany's face. Oh,
right?
Yeah.
That's like a nightmare.
I wrote it faster than I've been able to write any book ever. Like the shorter books take me longer than that. I guess because I just really knew what I wanted to do, and it just kind of flowed for me. So
that's always helpful.
Yeah.
Well, how long was Anne and Christie's last book? Was it 180?
Yeah, I want to say it was 180.
Yeah, mine's up there mine's around that number. The third book in the series. It's called Prophecy of Solstice's End, and I wrote an entire Olympic Games in it.
Oh my God.
Greek god style. So
nice.
Yeah.
So, well, for your world, do you borrow a lot from Greek mythology, since it's not necessarily Olympus, it's myth? Do they share a lot of the same stuff? I mean, cause I ask because, like, Harry Potter with the Muggle and the magical, and Muggle was normal, what we would consider normal, right. But magical, they had their own money and they had their own slang.
Yeah. They have their own money. They have it's pretty much the same kind of concept. The Earth is totally different from myth. Myth, they use drachmas. So yeah, I took a lot of elements from ancient Greece and Greek mythology. So they use drachmas as their currency. Actually, a lot of their cities look like our city. So I have a city that's called Los Atlas. It looks like Los Angeles.
Right.
Then I have New Elysium. It reminds me of New York. So we have different provinces that I took from,
Like the melding of the worlds.
yeah, basically. Like the gods took some ideas from the humans, even though they would never admit such a thing. Yeah, they took some ideas from the humans and created their world, because their world is constantly changing. As, the years progress, things change. So, yeah.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah.
And so you have 3 in that series so far?
Yeah, 3 in that series, 2 novellas, and an adult version of the series written by A-Star, which talks about the parents. So
is it a companion novel, or is it like a...
Yeah, but it's totally different. They're standalones, and they're dealing with their parents many years before the characters in Oracle Delphi were born. So how their parents met, how the demigods were born, because a lot of the characters in Oracle Delphi are demigods. So
it's a How I Met Your Mother of the gods.
Hell yeah!
So like all of A-Star's books are, of course,
adult, vulgar, inappropriate. That is the whole point. And the A in A-Star stands for Ashley. That is my real name. People don't know that.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, it's Ashley.
Where the hell did Diantha come from?
That's my middle name.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah, it's a real name. It's a real name. People think I made that up. Where'd you get that from? No, it's a real name. Ashley Diantha Jones. That's my name. Yeah, there it is.
Keeping it.
No, a lot of people don't know my name is Ashley. That's why I was like, oh, this.
Okay, so you go by Diantha normally.
Yeah, I go by that. I usually go by DJ.
Okay.
Only like people that really know me, like my parents, they refuse to call me anything but Ashley. And like really close friends who know me many, many years, they call me Ashley. But everyone else either calls me Diantha or DJ.
Yeah, I call you DJ.
Yeah, I was like, that's how you know me. That's how I introduce myself. So
yeah, that was how I met you. But I've got a lot of friends that I only refer to them by their pen name. That's like Anne. That's all I refer to her. I never can remember, when I'm like out in public with her. That's not her real name.
Yeah. A lot of people.
Well, and honestly, it's really funny when you go to these signings and some of the authors who like typically aren't used to answering to their pen name, who was Penelope.
Yeah, you think they're ignoring you, and they're really not. They just don't snap that you're talking to them.
Yeah, when we were in Phoenix, I was trying to talk to Penelope Douglas, and I was like, Penelope. She just kept walking. I was Penelope. Finally, like 4th or 5th time, she turned around. She's like, damn it, I don't answer to that all the time. She's like, that's only for my book. She's like, I don't use it in any other aspect of my life. But then there are some authors who adopt that pen name, and they answer to it either way.
Yeah, I do answer to it. I answer to both. Like at work, some of my employees try calling me by my real name, and they get the death stare of the century. Like, don't try me. You'll be unemployed by the end of the day.
I think my mother got immune to answering to Mom for like the longest time with so many kids in the room and all the grandkids now and everything. And so I'll say Mom and she won't answer, and I'll say Mom and she won't answer. Finally I'll be like, Tammy, and she's like, God damn it, quit calling me that. Well, then answer to Mom.
I don't call my mom Mom. Well, yeah, I mean I do sometimes, but mainly it's like, hey, old woman. I taught the kids, that instead of saying good night, they're like, peace out, old woman.
Oh, God.
If my dad was alive, they'd say, we're out, old folks.
So is this one of those moments where we got off on talking about something? That's my fault. I take the blame for this one.
Yeah, but that's nothing.
That's nothing.
Okay, so on your A-Star books,
yep.
How many books are there?
Right now we are at 4.
How long have you been writing?
Excuse me?
How long have you been writing?
Since 2012. So not that long, about 4 years.
Like 2 books a year then?
Yeah, well, there was 1 year where I did 4.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but that was a lucky, blessed year. And that has not come again. But yeah, so the A-Star books, we're about to, me and a couple of author friends, we're releasing an anthology next month, and the next Naystar story will be in that anthology. It's all new, introducing a whole new series that I'm starting called The Wesley Werewolves. So that's going to be interesting. And it's going to be an all-black characters that digs into African history and African mythology, so it should be really cool.
Oh, wow, that'll be fun.
You know, that's what I was gonna. That's what I thought of to ask you. I mean, especially with, if you're listening, you're wondering about some of this stuff. This is the day after the shooting in Dallas, where 5 police officers lost their lives, and especially now with all of the, I don't know, racial tension in our Facebook group. Diantha, you made the comment. You know, like, I don't see race.
Yeah.
If you got a question, ask me, I'll answer.
Yeah.
And because, are you the only black person in Bitches? See, I don't know, because I don't even fucking see race.
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't. And I know, yeah, everyone says, "Oh, that's white privilege talking." No, it's not white privilege talking. I've got a legitimate question.
Yeah.
But my question was, before I went off on my brain fart tangent, was, do your characters have a race when on paper? Not necessarily how you see them, how you envision them, but on paper, is anything mentioned about race at all?
Oh yeah, all the time. Oh yeah, and the thing is, what people don't know, people tend to judge, of course, books by their covers.
Right.
And what they don't know is the Oracle of Delphi series is super diverse. All of the demigods, they're not just all Greek. They come from everywhere. One of the main characters, one of the series favorites, is a South African boy named Linka Tahal. And he is a son of Hermes. And he's the thief son of Hermes. And he is one of the most loved characters, one of the most interesting characters. But Hermes himself is white. So race does not play a part in how people look, but I do describe them. So their parents could be, you know, the gods could look however they look, but the kids could be anything.
Right.
Yeah. So that was my, you know, I guess my homage to diversity in literature. And saying we're all
humans.
I
see. I mean, you know, it's like urban books, and okay, look, I'm gonna tell you, some of these covers for urban books, it's like, let's build on the stereotype more so than now. You know, my gangster's bitch. You know, what the fuck? Really? I mean, I don't think that could be a real title. I don't know. I'm just saying. I mean, this is the kind of shit. You know, it's got some hooch.
Surprised at some of the titles out there.
Ends, you know.
Yeah.
You know, crotch shot all over. You know, I'm thinking, why? But you know, I don't know, because I don't think I would turn down a book based on a ethnicity.
Yeah.
Ethnicity.
Ethnicity. I was. Yeah.
By ethnic background, I don't think I would. I mean, I don't really ever picture it, and unless cover has an actual person on it, I don't even think of race at all in terms of books.
Right. You read what you like, but you're in the minority, honestly. Most readers, because us three are so deep in it that for us, it's not even a second thought. Like, we don't even give a second thought to it. But for the average reader or people that don't read that much, it makes all the difference. And with all the stereotypes and, you know, racial tension and all the things in the world, people do, when they look at a certain book, they do judge it. And especially since there's an African American section in the library,
right,
or in the bookstores, how can they not? When you put that label on it, of course they're going to go into it with a certain mind frame. They're going to go right to the section with all kinds of preconceived.
But, you know, even Amazon does it. Amazon does it with their categories. I mean, there is an author couple that they each write, and typically their characters are either biracial or it's a mixed race relationship. And every single time a book comes out, their book is thrown into biracial category, African American category. And it may not have anything to do with the book. I mean, it's suspense, it's romance, it's mafia, it's this, it's that, but they always get thrown into biracial or African American. And it's kind of frustrating to me. Like, this book could be in so many different other categories than that. Why do we even have that category?
Yeah. Why does it exist? They might, but the thing is, Amazon gives you the options of choosing a lot of the categories, because none of my books are under African American anything. But because they let us choose, so maybe they chose that. Maybe they made some selections or picked some keywords or some search terms that got them in that category.
You know what? And maybe
that's what they want.
Maybe they choose African American or biracial because they're thinking it's got a better chance of hitting the bestseller if it's got that keyword, because it's a smaller. But I think Mary Crawford writes a lot of biracial stuff.
Yeah, she says she writes African American literature. She says she did.
And she's lily white.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, African American lit. The thing is, I'm okay with it being called that. But my thing is this: when I walk into a bookstore, I do not see the Hispanic fiction literature section with the Asian, and they don't call it the white fiction section.
They don't call it the
That's my only thing. We seem to be the ones that are separated from everyone else, because everyone else's books get thrown in with.
Well, but you know what? Who was the chick that wrote Stella Got Her Groove Back? I mean, she's the one that brought it to the forefront. Maybe maybe they think that they are,
Uh-oh, she got frozen.
Yeah, she did.
And that picture is hilarious.
Dina, where'd you go? I bet you would have bet she's still talking.
Yeah, I bet she is. I wonder, does she know that she's frozen?
Probably not. I'm gonna call her.
Yeah, I was like, call her and tell her she's frozen.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, you're back now.
You froze.
Yeah, you froze.
See it? Start talking about race and the motherfucking freezes up.
Your
Solar ice storm.
Your
It's a whiteout. Never mind. So I'll have to edit that shit out. No telling what the hell YouTube's picking up on that. But I don't know. I think that they do have a Latino literature section.
But why? Why does that?
Why are they divided in the first place?
Why is that?
Well, maybe they're hoping because it's such a small segment overall, they want to give it extra, not necessarily promotion, but pull it out so that it gets more of a chance to be seen.
Maybe, or maybe not. I mean, it's hard to pin down why or why not. I don't have all the facts. I don't know the behind the scenes as well as others.
Well, and I've seen your book covers. I mean,
yeah.
Disclaimer: I format for A-Star.
Yeah.
So, but I don't read them. There's really not a lot of books. Really, this sounds so fucking horrible. Really, for the last 2 years, I don't really read anymore.
Yeah.
Whereas I was reading 2 books, 1.5 books a day before I started doing this. Now I'm like reading maybe 1 book a quarter.
Yeah, I've been really bad with it too.
It's my time is not there to do it like I used to. And now, instead of reading a book to decompress, because I spend so much time staring at books and words, I decompress with, you know, Amazon Prime movie binges and, you know, Netflix.
You sound like me, Netflix.
And, no, not Netflix and chill. We've been over this. So, but so I think, you know, there's nothing about your books that give away anything at all to do with race. I mean, on the covers, at least. And nothing from, you know, from the skimming that I do as I format them that has anything to do with race. So, I don't know. Maybe that's why I'm shocked that you have race in your book. I don't know.
I mean, I do. The thing is, I want it to be clear that there is diversity here. I want it to be known that the characters are diverse. You know
what? I think that's good because
it needs to be. People have been calling for diversity in literature for quite a while now, and I mean, I try to make them as diverse as possible. Yes, I'm starting to write some series that are not diverse at all. And if they want to put me in African American lit, that's fine. It is. But
right.
I'm still, at the end of the day, I'm still like, well, why do we have this distinction at all? Yeah, yes, it is beneficial in some ways for, you know, our books to be set aside, the ones that we write for our community to be set aside and given their own kind of spotlight. But then again, it begs the question, was that really our doing? In so many words, are we really supportive of that? Are we truly supportive of that? Because I've always been kind of iffy about the whole thing. I don't know if I like it or if I dislike it or not. I'm not sure about it. I've just never been sure. And that would be my question. I would want to ask more Black authors or, you know, authors of color. Is this something you're okay with? Do you like this section? Do you like being separate from over here if you write African American lit? Because my books can, even though I'm an African American author, my books are not African American literature.
Right.
Anybody who likes it can read it. It's a book for everyone, and that's why I put all kinds of characters in there, because I want there to be a character for everyone.
Because it's not specifically, you know, and, you know, now that I think about it, you know, here I am. I don't know that there's a lot of books out there that have a multitude of races in them, unless they are specifically targeting, you know, biracial or, you know, or this particular grouping of people, which that's pretty fucking disgusting.
Yeah, it was just something that came natural to me. It wasn't even something I had to give a real thought to. I was like, well, this character is not going to be of this race, and this character is going to be from here. And if you know where they're from, you can put two and two together and figure out kind of what they look like. In general, I give descriptions of every single character that they come in contact with, pretty much, if they have any kind of significance in the story. And you can make your own, you know, you can put together your own image of that person from there. But some are just real blatant. Like I said, the character from the Oracle of Delphi series, he's from South Africa, and he looks like he is ethnic. He looks ethnic. So, and I've made it perfectly clear that he's ethnic. And that's
excellent. I mean,
yeah.
That's like a lot to think about too.
Yeah,
I want to talk more about that in the Badass Pub.
Okay.
As well as the other stuff, you know, the diversity. But I feel like a little white light bulb going off over my head.
It's a natural thing, like the Jinn Order books, because that's a lot of that mythology with Jinn and everything. That's a lot of Middle Eastern mythology. So the Jinn do not look like, I'm sorry, they don't look white.
They don't look like me and Tiffany.
No, and they don't look like me. They look like Middle Eastern, you know, where the mythology came from. I try to stay true to the mythology as much as possible in this case in particular, because it just seemed right.
Yeah.
It seemed right.
Well, that's really cool. Okay, so again, Diantha Jones writes YA. Hold on, sorry. Writes YA.
Yep.
And an A-star writes pornographic. No, I'm just joking. Dirty books.
My sister did call one of them a little pornographic, but I thought it was pretty tame in comparison. I thought, to some of the stuff I've read. So, or something that you've probably written, Dina.
Yeah, you read some of my stuff.
Yeah, I was like, filthy. But no, it's fine. Like, no, I think my shit is tame in comparison to you, honey. No, it's a good thing. That's what you meant to. You went for it. And that's what you meant to do.
So
It's all good.
we're not talking about me.
Don't try to change the subject.
We're not talking about me on this show. So, all right. So, and you're a new badass. Well, I say you're a new badass author.
That's a long story.
You have been involved with Badass, honestly, since November of last year.
Yep.
It just your page hadn't been done yet, and I'm not gonna say I'm to blame, and I'm not gonna say you're to blame. But
I did take a long time getting my stuff to you. I'm a super procrastinator. What can I say?
So, and all of your books, you know, and under both of your personas, will be available on there. So if anyone is interested, they should take a look at your Badass pages on badassbooksociety.com, and they can find out more about you and your books.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to end this show, and then we're going to start recording the next one. So good night, everybody.
Night.
Hello.
Kala.